Okay, shalom, shalom. Kwam Yasha Allah. Koholim La Yahweh. Bahashim Yahweh Shai. Bahashim. Chahakudash. The honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and that by the Spirit taught us this beautiful truth. Just want to say the water to all the H.I.M and Akwaf that's out here sincerely keeping the laws, the statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai to the best of their ability. This is Yachanan Awaf. Just coming at you with another quick lesson. Praying that it's edifying by the Spirit. And this is an article on Hillary Clinton, all dried up, and the Lord is about to give her ass that business, wicked old ass lady. But anyway, Clinton says white Christian men are damaging America, right? And she's acting as if America wasn't stolen, raped, robbed, and pillaged, all in the name of sweet white baby idolatrous Jesus, man. These so-called white men, these so-called Christians, they've been murderous for centuries, man. You know, all of a sudden just acting as if it's just, oh, we have this problem now. They're mentally, you know, and then they don't even want to admit that these motherfuckers is just wicked. They trying to make it seem as if, oh, you know, they have a mental problem. Mental illness in America is real. All this other shit. But when it comes to you, Jake, you commit the same crimes. As a matter of fact, she was the one that was calling you predatory and animalistic a few years back. You know, and then her husband, them Clintons, man, they done a lot to destroy Jake, man. You know, when they was carrying the torch at the time. So, but it says former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton has come under fire for remarks interpreted as critical of religious white men. Of course, yeah, they're gonna come up against you because, they don't want to hear no truth about themselves. That's one thing about Esau. This motherfucker is hypocritical as hell, man. And he takes no accountability whatsoever. Now, I was just watching the elder. I still got to watch the rest of the video. The elder out in Dallas, GMS Dallas, Slovakia. Now, he done a video too, the elder out in South Carolina. It's a video on this pastor talking about how Jake should, they should go back to the Old Testament laws and ways of pretty much executing Jakes that's, rebellious and hard-headed. They trying to use Old Testament laws, right? Okay, well, let me get this real quick. Psalms 50 and 16. Because this guy literally sat there on a podcast, you know what I'm saying, and was talking about Jake. And Esau, he getting blatantly forward, man, with what his agenda is, man. He letting you niggas know that we don't like you, man. And we will destroy you. We want to destroy you, and we will. That's their plan. And 2/3 of you, Jake, man, y'all got it. Well, I mean, it's not going to be no waking up anyway because it's already prophetic that you get the business. Because, Jake is rebellious and stubborn and wicked as hell. So you can't get around that. We're not vouching for Jake, man. But this is Psalms 50 and 16. Because you Edomites, though, you're very hypocritical, man, because you're the most wicked people on this fucking planet. You're committing all the heinous crimes, man. And then you're trying to throw it on Jake as if he's the one, because you're the source of it. Because these little YNs, these little niggas that's running around here, these nigglets that's running around here, you created them niggas, man. Being here in the Americas and the way that you treated Jake and the situations that you placed Jake in, all your little schemes, all your policies, all your wicked ass laws that you set up, to destroy Jake, you can't have nothing but the result that you have when our people are acting the way that they're acting, man, because you set it all up. No equal equality. You constantly running motherfucking schemes and projects on Jake. You know what I'm saying? Testing fucking diseases on Jake. You testing medicines on Jake. You done been doing a lot of heinous shit, man, over these past couple of 100 years, man. But this is Psalms 50 and 16. But unto the wicked, Yahweh saith, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth? So these so-called Christian white men that Hillary Clinton is talking about, what are they even doing with the Bible? You broke all the commandments to get the land. Here you go. The scripture says, this man got laws set up for trafficking people, but he's the biggest human trafficker in history, man. Okay, Salakia, verse 17, it says, seeing thou hatest instructions and casting my words behind thee. When thou sawest a thief, then thou consentest with him, and hast been partakers with adulterers. Thou givest thy mouth to evil, and thy tongue frameth deceit. And this is what this man does, man. He framed lies, man. He comes up with these statistics, false data, pseudoscience, and say that you, Jake, are just the most wildest people on the planet, when this is the original caveman. He's not going to tell you, give you, he's giving you this history that he's just this great man, when nothing can be further from the truth, man. It says, thou sittest and speakest against thy brother. Thou slanderest thy own mother's son. And this is what they do when it comes to Jake, man. He's the accuser of the brethren. These things hast thou done, and I kept silence. Thou thoughtest that I was altogether such as Salakia. Thou thoughtest that I was altogether such an one as thyself. And this is what, these Christians, they really believe that the Lord is backing them, which he is, on the left hand side. They really think that they're actually righteous, though. They really believe that, okay, what we're doing is righteous. We're the righteous people. We're God's people. If we wouldn't be running the planet like how we're running the planet. This is how they think. But really, in reality, you know what I'm saying? The Lord set them up on the left hand side to just do what he wanted them to do for a period of time, man. And that second Esdras 6 and 9, it talks about how these people are the end of the world. Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows. So what you're witnessing throughout this planet right now, all these uproars of the people, shit, man, and these Edomites, shit is going on nuts so in these Edomite countries, bro. Okay, but it says, let me get that verse back again. Verse 21, it says, these things hast thou done, and I kept silence. Thou thoughtest that I was altogether such an one as thyself, but I will reprove thee and set them in order before thine eyes. So the Lord is going to reprove you and set you in order right before our very face, man. Right? So what are you doing with the scriptures, though, is the thing. And that's one of the main reasons why the Lord is going to, give y'all that real serious ass whooping, man. You know what I'm saying? Because you never should have put your hands on these scriptures and then you plastered your face as if you're really the children of the Lord, man. You gave the people white Jesus, which is a fucking idol. You gave the people a white God. You look up all these images on Google, and all you seeing is some perverts popping up, man. You got God as if he's some butt naked white guy, and he's into children, man. Their iconoclasm, all those whitewashed images that they had, you know what I'm saying? Their artwork is showing themselves to be the people of the Lord, man. That the Lord gonna deal with them for that. Okay, but it says she came under fire, right? It says just weeks after the assassination of conservative activist Captain Kirk, if you know who we talking about, we're using code. The Turning Point USA co-founder was a devout Christian. No, he wasn't. He was a so-called devout Christian. He thought that he was. Who often said the most important thing in his life was his faith. Yeah. All that bullshit. Hell out of here, man. Clinton was a guest on the MSNBC Morning Joe, where she declared her love of America, warts and all, while expressing her patriotism. She also cautioned against any push to turn the clock back and try to recreate the world that was dominated by, let's say it, white men of a certain persuasion, a certain religion, a certain point of view, a certain ideology, said Clinton, is just doing such damage to what we should be aiming for. And we were on the path towards that. I mean, imperfectly, they want to go back to Trump. When Trump said make America great again, he wants to take it back to when you niggas was really in chains, man. She says, imperfectly, lots of bumps along the way. She also said Americans have to stop demonizing each other. Now, I think most of that right now in our country history is coming from the right, from people who want to dominate. They want their point of view, she said. Writing out slavery from history, that doesn't make it go away. Yeah, you're right about that. But you matter of fact, you speaking on it and acting as if, you're a part of, this righteous movement to say, no, we shouldn't do that. We should admit our wrongs, which y'all not going to admit no wrongs. I don't think she even said that in the article. You know what I'm saying? She's just talking shit. But her speaking in that manner, that don't mean that you're not going to get what's coming to you. If you're an Edomite, your ass is going directly into captivity right along with the rest of these Edomites, man. Don't make no difference what kind of push you trying to push. Because you do have some Edomites out here that's, they'll speak up or they'll speak out, but that shit not gonna make no difference. Because they're gonna go into captivity as a nation, how we went into captivity as a nation. Because I always like to use the example of Daniel. When it comes to Daniel, and the brothers that he was with, they wasn't wicked men, but they went into captivity with the rest of the nation. So it's the same thing with you so-called white people that you're considering yourself to be somewhat righteous. Well, we had nothing to do with slavery, and I absolutely abhor it. And I've been fighting my mother and my grandparents. They fought in the civil rights. No, that shit not gonna make no difference. Y'all still going into captivity. It says the response from Christians online was swift, with many sharing that they felt targeted by Clinton's words. Many took to social media to defend themselves and their faith. I'm a white Catholic man. No, you're not white. You're actually pinkish to reddish in color. No such thing as white people. That's a social construct. And we got it. And Elder Malcolm, he said that yesterday in a lesson. I was listening to her maybe day before yesterday, but he was like, no, we got to start calling Esau out, calling them Edomites, because that's exactly who they are. You're not white people. We got to start cutting into that white people shit. You are Edomites, man. You are Esau. You come from Esau. Abraham, Isaac, and Esau. You're not white. The scripture says you came out red. And these people are pinkish to reddish in color. Because look, let's see if we can get these. See your Charlie Kirk and his so-called wife. His wife there. They're not white. They don't look like a glass of milk. Even Clinton. Let's get her real quick. See, she doesn't look like a glass of milk. Her backdrop is white. These are not white people. Those are social constructs. And there's no such thing as black people, man. You so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you are different shades of brown, and you are Israelites. You come from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, which his name was changed to Israel, or Yasharallah in the Hebrew tongue, which means that you are princes of the power. And they know that. Right? And they come from Abraham, Isaac, and Esau. And this is a perpetual fight that has been going on for thousands of years between these two brothers. Because the scripture says that they will be two different nations and they will be rivals against each other. Okay, so but this thing is rounding up and it's ending. Okay, it says this guy says, I'm a white Catholic man. I go to church, work as a pediatrician, love my wife, my dog, and my country. Yeah, you do. Sure you do. That's your typical. Thanks for demonizing me and anyone like me. One commenter wrote. Added another, this is outrageous to single out Christianity, let alone white Christian men, as some kind of national threat is a flat out bigotry. No. This is the truth, man. Matter of fact, let me get that real quick. This is the truth that's going out on you people. And your own people are actually calling your ass out. And that's the Lord. Psalm 64:8. So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. See? Because Hillary Clinton, don't get me wrong, this is not a color thing. But I don't, she could be an Israelite, who knows? But she don't pull, her spirit don't say that to me. She seems to be a complete, straight, flat out fucking Edomite, man. Okay, but they're being told on, and that shameful spewing, man, that's what it is too. Let me get that. That shameful spewing is on Esau, and that's what Trump and them is going into. They forget about feeling bad about what we done to them niggas. Forget about feeling bad about, how we got this country. We're here now. This is ours. This is how they think. Habakkuk 2:16. Thou art filled with shame for glory. Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of the Lord's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be on thy glory. See? That shameful spewing is on their glory. All that shit they used to be proud of. No, they shameful of that shit now. They don't want to hear none of that shit. Trump let's get rid of all this shit in these museums. All this, this so-called African American slavery. No, we get rid of that shit. And that's one thing that this lady was mentioning in this article. Right? But it says, if Hillary Clinton thinks that devotion to Christ is doing damage, then it's fair to ask, who exactly does she look to for guidance? It's not God, because it sure doesn't sound like she has any respect for him. A third person simply asks, what damage specifically? What about praising God is so bad to these people? Well, you're not praising God. You're the wicked. You know, well, you're the wicked. The Lord is not dealing with you so-called white people, man. Another one, little does she know, we're only just getting started. Yeah, you're only getting started to show your wickedness. The Christian revival will be be biblical in scale. Now, see, these people really believe that they are the are real Christians. They really believe that the Lord is dealing with them. He's not dealing with you so-called white people. He's dealing with you on the left hand side. You're the wicked, man. He created you to be the hammer of the earth, to be his sword, man. That's it. Once you're done, it's like you pick up a knife to cut a sandwich in half. Once you cut the sandwich in half, you put the knife to the side. You're done. That's it. I don't have no more use for the knife. And this motherfucker is over with. Okay, it says Kirk had long been vocal about how being a devout Christian was a cornerstone of his life. I mean, I'm nothing without Jesus. Yeah, well, white Jesus don't exist. That's an idol. Because the letter J wasn't even around when the Lord walked the earth. The letter J, E, O, U, V, none of those letters are even in the Hebrew alphabet. The letter J was invented in 1524 by a grammarian named Giorgio Trissino. There was no letter J when the Lord walked the earth. No one was calling on no damn Jesus 2,000 years ago. And the elder Yahshua, he went into a beautiful lesson this morning on the name of Yahweh Shai too. He was going into it, man. I need to go back and look at that one again. He told Russell Brand in 2024 during an appearance, he says, I'm a sinner. I fall incredibly short of the glory of God. We all do. I gave my life to the Lord in 5th grade. Well, we know that you can't give your life to the Lord. The Lord is the one that chooses the people that he's dealing with. You don't choose him. That's scriptural, man. Matter of fact, let me get that real quick. John 15:16, ye have not chosen me. See? You don't choose the Lord, but I have chosen you and ordained you that you should go and bring forth fruit, and that your fruit should remain. That whatsoever ye shall ask of Salakia, that whatsoever ye shall ask of the Father in my name, he may give it you. So you don't choose the Lord, man. That's one of them things that Christians always say too. I gave my life to the Lord, and then they be acting as if the Lord really need them. My talents, telling people, oh, the Lord, he can use you. He needs your talent. No, the Lord don't need you. The fuck out of here, man. Says, I'm a sinner. I fall incredibly short of the glory of God. We all do. I gave my life to the Lord in 5th grade. And it's the most important decision I've ever made. And everything I do incorporates Jesus Christ. Through, bro. After Kirk was killed speaking at a Turning Point USA event on the Utah College campus, a Resurface podcast interview revealed he'd once been asked if you could be associated with one thing, how would you want to be remembered? Kirk responded, if I died, then shared, I want to be remembered for courage for my faith. Yeah, right, nigga. Hell out of here, man. God, family, country, yeah. Well, the Lord is going to destroy this place, man. This place is already on a downward spiral. And white people are starting to see it, too. Don't think that they don't know. That's the reason why they fighting so hard. Remember, they used to be at ease. They're not at ease no more. When you have it all together and you've conquered shit, you generally kind of sit back, you're at ease. And that's the reason why America, too, is so behind on technology when it comes to these other countries. Because when they conquered, they just kick back. You know what I'm saying? Shit, they kick back. They were, they were super duper at ease. You know what I'm saying? And now all of a sudden, these countries have surpassed them. And that's the reason why you kind of got that speech from Pete Hegseth at the, with those 800 generals the other day. He's pretty much in a nutshell basically saying, hey, look, we got to get off our ass, because if not, we're done. And it's nothing they can do to claw back, man, from old time periods, man. This shit is over with. Look at this old bat. You know what I'm saying? We can't wait, man. And continue on praying for the downfall of Esau Edom's kingdom, man. Let me get this one too. I was reading it in the NLT earlier. Isaiah 47:1 in the New Living Translation, it says, come down, virgin daughter of Babylon, and sit in the dust, for your days of sitting on the throne have ended. O daughter of Babylonia. Let me see here. Of Chaldea. Yep. Never again will ye be the lovely princess, tender and delicate. Not no more, man. It's a done deal. It's a done deal, man. Take heavy millstones and grind flour. Remove your veil and strip off your robe. Expose yourself to public view. You will be naked and burdened with shame. I will take vengeance against you without pity. Ooh. Our Redeemer, whose name is Yahweh of heaven's armies, is the Holy One of Yasharallah, Israel. O beautiful Babylon, sit now in darkness and silence. Never again will ye be known as the Queen of Kingdoms. For I was angry with my chosen people and punished them, by letting them fall into your hands. But you, Babylon, showed them no mercy. You oppressed even the elderly. You said, I will reign forever as queen of the world. You did not reflect on your own actions or think about your consequences. This is what's coming to you people, man. Listen to this, you pleasure-loving kingdom, living at ease and feeling secure. You say, I am the only one, and there is no other. I will never be a widow or lose my children. Well, both these things will come upon you. Damn. Well, both these things will come upon you in a moment. Widowhood and the loss of children. Yes, these calamities will come upon you despite all your witchcraft and magic. You felt secure in your wickedness. No one sees me, you said, but your wisdom and knowledge have led you astray. And you said, I am the only one and there is no other. So disaster will overtake you and you won't be able to charm it away. Calamity will fall upon you and you won't be able to buy your way out of it. A catastrophe will strike you suddenly, one for which you are not prepared. Now use your magical charms. Use the spells you have worked at all these years. Maybe they will do you some good. Maybe they can make someone afraid of you. All the advice you receive has made you tired. Where are all your astrologers? Those stargazers who make predictions each month. Let them stand up and save you from what the future holds. But they are like straw burning in a fire. They cannot save themselves from the flame. You will get no help from them at all. Their hearth is no place to sit for warmth. All your friends, those with whom you've done business since childhood, will go their own way, turning a deaf ear to your cries. Yep, and they're gonna help out with demolishing this place too, man. So, I just wanted to touch on that. And the scripture talks about how this place is going to be done up in 1 hour. All that military might that you have, all that tough talk, all that shit you've been talking, that shit not going to make no difference, man, in the coming future here. And that shit it's upon you, man. So we going to end out there, man. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to touch on this. I seen this old bat, but she was telling the truth about these. And she's really only saying it because, she got that hatred for Trump, really. You know what I'm saying? But the Lord can even make a demon speak some truth, man. So with that, I pray that the lesson was edifying. Kwam Yasha Allah and a Baba Ball.